So thank you so much, sir, for
Thank you,
taking
Matt.
the interview.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We really appreciate this, and both myself and our readers are very much looking forward to what you have to say on several issues.
Right.
If we could start with your run for Jakarta governor, if I could ask you, what makes you a unique candidate? What is specific about you that you would bring to Jakarta? What is unique?
I think my business perspective and my business background, I see Jakarta is evolving into the economic center not only for Indonesia but for ASEAN. And the people of Jakarta needs to transform, and we need to create a much better economy for the city itself. And we see issues in relations to job security, issue in relations to prices and cost of living in Jakarta. With my business perspective, I think I can offer a lot more breakthrough and innovations in terms of making sure through entrepreneurship and through better business climate, you could create more jobs, you could contain rising prices, and also contain the growing gap between the rich and the poor. And that's actually what I'm intending to bring to the table. And I'm going around the city and asking more and more inputs, as well as the stories from the people on the ground and the grassroots. And they are asking whether I could have a program that could basically address those issues, which is part of their daily economic struggles.
Okay. You mentioned your private sector experience. Do you think that because you're not a career politician that really will help you become someone who can improve life in Jakarta?
Yeah, I think we need a better approach, not a cookie cutter political approach in terms of fixing the daily economic struggles of the people in Jakarta. And with my non-political background, and pretty much I come in with a package to offer what really needs by the people, and not really driven by the political objectives. And this is kind of tricky, but I think the people of Jakarta are getting more and more independent and rational in terms of what they want to have their leaders bring to the table. And I hope within this process I could offer solutions to the people of Jakarta.
Okay. Now, you lived overseas for quite a while. You studied in the United States, that we were just talking about. Many people, when they live overseas, they take certain things away from their experience on some issues that changes them, as a person. I mean, myself, I lived in Asia for a while, and I see things in the United States differently because of that experience. Since you have this experience living overseas, is there anything that you think you've gained from that experience that you would bring as a candidate for the governorship of Jakarta?
I think I've been very fortunate to have the experience living in North America, to have an experience living in North Asia, as well as in Singapore and Southeast Asia. I have been able to increase the exposure in terms of how we could see part of this evolutions of cities going from emerging economies into developed economies, and how cities are adopting technology, how cities are fastly tackling the urban sort of like issues. I think it's good to widen your exposures, but Jakarta is Jakarta, and Jakarta has its own unique issues. I don't have a plan to bring in those sort of like issues and solutions that has been faced and solved in other parts of the world here, but rather I'm trying to bring open mindsets, bringing the entrepreneurship experience in terms of solving the issues facing the cities. I think Jakarta will be growing, and predictions is showing that 75% of the populations in not only in Indonesia but in the world is moving into urban areas, and this is where I think Jakarta needs to be prepared. And my overall experience, having lived abroad, could greatly benefit this new strategy.
Okay. What are the challenges that you just mentioned? Lots of new people moving into Jakarta. What are some of the main challenges with that?
Main challenges would be basically providing the basic necessities for them, the housing, the food, the educations, the healthcare, and I think it is inevitable that we need to think about it 5-10 years ahead, because you cannot pretty much close the border. We're borderless right now, and I think the share of the economic pie is here, and people come to Jakarta to have a hope. They have hope to have a better life. And I think we as stakeholders, government, private sectors, academia, and civil society needs to really think forward in terms of how do we accommodate their housings, how do we accommodate for their, requirement for health, educations, and so on and so forth. And I think we need to collaborate in providing smart ways to cater to this growing populations in the urban areas.
Could you give the viewers an idea of how many people you'll see in Jakarta in, say, the next few years? New people?
We are basically have 10 million populations in Jakarta, and in the daytime it's 14 million, because some 4 million people commuting into Jakarta. We could easily see within the next 14 years, in 2030, that numbers grow to about 20 million because of the fast and rapid increase. They may not live all in Jakarta itself. They may live in the suburbs, in Bekasi or Tangerang, or even as far as Karawang. But with the improved infrastructures and transportations, mass transportations that is being built now, I think that could easily cater to about 20 million that would somewhat be living in the fringe of Jakarta.
Okay. What are your thoughts, if we can move to investment, what are your thoughts on increasing foreign investment into Jakarta? What kind of incentives do you think should be provided, and for what industries? And you've got the perspective of a businessman on this. What do you think is the best route to get improved investment towards Jakarta?
First of all, we need to improve our investment climate. We need foreign investments, as well as we also need domestic investments. We need the technology transfer, and we need the capital to grow. We see already a gap of our capital needs and what is available here domestically. So it is very, very crucial that we're able to attract foreign investments into Jakarta. Better business climate includes improve in the ease of doing business. We're now number 100 in the IFC ranking. We need to improve that dramatically in order to attract more investments from abroad. We need to also make it easier for permitting and licensing. We need to make sure that there are enough incentives like tax breaks, tax holidays, industry that is coming in, bringing technology and bringing transfer of knowledge. We need to incentivize them. Sometimes we even have to go the extra mile in providing maybe capital for startups, capital for these newly emerging companies in terms of how they can attract people. We need to make sure that the labor regime that is very fixed and rigid here be more flexible and be more accommodative to growing of the economy. So that is my perspective. And I think with the hard work, and I think government is on the right track, the city is doing its bit also, we could be making our ranking to be top 40 by 2 to 3 years from now.
Would you cut the regulation? Is that what you
I would definitely look at cutting the red tapes, cutting the bureaucracy, making it more transparent, making it faster, using technology in terms of how to make full disclosures of all regulations, so that could be easily understood by the business community. And I would even go one step further in inviting some of the top potentials who in the past see Thailand or Malaysia or Philippines, or Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur or Manila are their alternatives. I think I need to go on a full offensive, going to these potential investors to say, what do you need in Jakarta, and let's make it happen.
So you would directly access the investors and talk to them personally?
I've been accustomed to doing roadshows, meeting investors, and making sure that they can be easily sort of like sway into looking at investing in Indonesia, and in particular Jakarta. So I would take the one step forward. I'm not going to wait for them to come here. I'll probably go and meet them in their home turf and offer what could be done for them to set up their business here in Jakarta.